Hello. No one is here yet. I'm just waiting for you guys to join. Hopefully, someone joined. Oh, there's one person. Hi. Who are you? Please put in the chat who you are and let me know if you can hear me clearly. Oh, the person left. It's all good. So, no one's gonna join my life? Hi. Who is that one person who is on? Let me know in the comments who you are. If it's just two of us, we'll still talk. And the person left. Hi, Juan. ¿Hablas español? Porque este live es solamente voy a hablar inglés y el otro live mañana hablo español. I'm seeing two other persons. Let me know who you are in the chat. Remember, I'm only speaking English for this live. Si hablas español, vuelve mañana a las 8. Please say hi when you join so I can know who you are. You can start asking me questions. You can start giving me recommendations. Hi, Aunt. How are you? You're fine. You're happy. Thank you for joining. What are your questions? What do you have for me? What would you like us to talk about tonight? It's free talk. You're doing good. That's awesome. What are your questions, guys? So I recently, okay, so while you're coming up with your questions, I'll just, talk a bit. So I recently changed the name of my channel from Bella in Argentina to Becoming Bella. And I explained why I did so in the video, but just to talk a bit, just for conversation's sake until more persons come on. I decided to do that because I wanted to have a greater reach. Just talking about Argentina is good. I love Argentina. I have a lot to say, but at the same time, I still have a lot more to say than just talking about Argentina. So I wanted to share more information, and I didn't want to start another channel right now because I'm still trying to grow this channel. So I just decided to amplify it a bit to talk about different aspects of my life. And that is why I decided to change it from Bella in Argentina to Becoming Bella, because Becoming Bella represents the future of the channel, talking about different aspects of my life, sharing different thoughts, ideas. Um, yeah, but I still plan to share about Argentina. I have been doing so and I will continue to do so. If it is that what I'm doing now doesn't work, then definitely in the future I will probably, narrow it down back to just start talking about stuff in Argentina and probably do show just the places that I visit. But for right now, it's gonna be that way. But I'm only seeing two persons on now. I'm not sure if I need to share this on my WhatsApp or somewhere so that people can know that I'm here. So I'm not talking to just myself. Where are the 895 persons who are subscribed to my channel? I know that most of you are Argentines, but at the same time, if no one comes on I'm gonna wait until 8:30. If no one comes on, then I'm just gonna end this live. And if no one is saying anything, we'll try again another time. I'm sure the one that I do tomorrow, more persons will come on because most of my subscribers are Spanish speakers. Should have done the Spanish one first. Miss Meek, hello, how are you? Miss Meek, where are you from? Do you know me? Because I know someone by the name of Meeks, but I'm not sure. Just let me know where you're typing in from. How did you find my channel? What do you think about my channel? If you have any questions for me, you're from the US. Awesome. And how did you find my channel, Miss Meek? What interests you about my channel? Do you plan to visit Argentina? Have you been to Argentina? Oh, awesome. Thank you, Miss Me. You subscribed because you're planning to visit and you saw my channel. Awesome. So why did you subscribe? Because there are lots of channels out there talking about Argentina. Um, do you have any recommendations for me? What do you like seeing so far? What are the things that you don't like seeing? Is there anything specific that you'd like to know that I haven't covered as yet? Well, you did a video in your apartment and was giving information, and I like that. Mm, okay. I don't remember which video that was. Was it the one that I was giving information on how to find an apartment in Argentina? Well, thank you so much. First, I should have said thank you so much for subscribing because all the persons who subscribed, helped my channel to grow and also, help me to be able to produce more content. I do this because I always liked YouTube, and I like to share information with other persons. When I was coming to Argentina, I didn't have this platform, and I couldn't just go on YouTube and just search, oh, what is it like living in Argentina, or certain information details. I didn't have that. But I had a friend who was here to assist me. But I thought about what if I could share all the information on a platform that reaches people all over the world, because not everyone has a friend here before coming. And yeah, one of the reasons I decided to share, and also I decided to share because obviously, you do something because you expect to get some reward in the future. So it's twofold. So thank you so much for subscribing and for supporting, and I do hope to share more information, more content to help people who want to visit Argentina. Okay, so you said I'm African American woman, and I wanted to know what is it that being African descent living in Argentina. Yeah, I think most of the persons who subscribed or who have been supporting my channel who are black people who wanted to know what it is like being black in Argentina. And I do understand because that I always ask that question when I go somewhere. What is the treatment like? Do they like black people? Do black people feel safe? Are they welcomed? So when I started, I didn't really want to go into that in much detail because I know it's a very tricky topic and I didn't want to, um, you know, what should I say, trigger anyone. But I wanted to, but someone reached out to me and asked me, what was it like as a for a black person visiting here? And I was like, okay, I need to do the video. So I decided to do the video. What is it like being black in Argentina? And it's one of the videos that has gotten the most views on my channel because obviously it's something that people really want to know about. And yeah, I hope I was honest in my response. To be honest, I haven't had a bad experience so far. Obviously, not everyone is going to be good to you or whatever, but I just walk on the street and I'm normal. I feel good. I feel safe. Like, I don't think as a black person you'll have a bad experience unless you're looking for trouble. Because you have a lot of black persons here and they're living good lives. They are being given opportunities just like any other Argentine. A lot of them have formed families with Argentines. They're working in high positions. Like, I don't think you have a problem. Especially if you go to Buenos Aires, they're used to having foreigners there. So even better for you. It seems nice in Argentina and the people seem fine, but wanted to hear it firsthand. Yeah, and I do agree with you. It's best to hear it from, someone who's actually living there, someone who looks like you. And you're American, so your experience is going to be even better than mine because, Americans tend to receive a warmer welcome than, people from black people from other countries. I saw others like Ace Live, and it seems like people were nice. Yeah, people are nice. People are nice here. They're cool. They're chill people. It also depends on the setting. Some settings are you probably will have to work your way into it. But generally, walking on the street, going to the supermarket, As I tell people all the time, just come to Argentina with a positive attitude. Don't come looking for trouble and come with buena onda, which means you just have a good vibe. You're you're calm, not necessarily calm, but you're a good vibe. That's the best way that I can explain it. Because when you give out a good vibe, Argentines tend to give that back to you. So yeah, just come and just expect the best, and also, you know, hope for the best and expect anything. That's my advice to you. But I don't think you'll have a bad experience, especially if you're going to Buenos Aires. How is Palermo? I don't speak any Spanish, but I'm willing to learn. Okay, so I don't live in Buenos Aires, but I've visited Buenos Aires. I've been to Palermo a few times, and I must say it's absolutely beautiful. I love Buenos Aires. It's much safer. The shops, the architecture, everything. Palermo is one of those tourist areas too. That's where I think a lot of the persons who come visit from the United States actually live. It's safe. It's calm. I think you have a lot of things that you would need close by. You can always walk, or if you want, you can get a cab, take the bus too. So Palermo is a really cool, hot, chill spot. So it's a good place. You don't speak Spanish, but you're willing to learn. Well, that's good. I think you should probably start learning some Spanish when you if you plan to visit, because while you may find a few Argentines who speak Spanish, I don't think majority of the Argentines speak Spanish or maybe even understand it. So, I mean English, I'm sorry. So, it's best for you to be able to at least, say a few words to for them to understand what you're saying. And but I once again, I think in Buenos Aires, because they are used to having English speakers, visitors over and over. I think they have gotten accustomed to having English speakers, so they may know a few words in English. But if you find someone on the road, then maybe you might be lucky to find someone who speaks English. Um, oh, and to give you some advice on how to learn English, you can download Duolingo on your phone. I'll type it in the chat. That's a good app for you, for persons who are just learning the language. And just try to I'll be doing a video shortly on tips on how to learn a foreign language. So I'll give you some simple tips, like listening to music, watching movies, doing stuff that you like, but doing them in the language that you're trying to learn. Good energy flows back good vibes. Yes, Shoshana, I do agree with you. Thomas says, "Hi Bella, how are you? Greetings from Buenos Aires." Hi, greetings from Rosario, Argentina. Thank you for coming. And I love your city. You're welcome, Miss Meek. Trishana, true. I started using it. I needed to return. Yes, I I started using Duolingo when I just came to Argentina because I needed to brush up on my Spanish, and it really helped me. And then I started watching the series in Spanish too. That also really helped me. Just if it's possible, associate yourself with persons who speak the language that you're trying to learn. That also really helps. Um, yeah, reading books, whatever it is that you can find in the language, and try to, if you like to do something, for example, you like to cook, then you can start with that. Start finding different words that are in Spanish for ingredients to different things that you like to cook, etc. Um, yeah, and I just wanted to say too that I started using Duolingo recently again because I recently visited Brazil and I needed to really brush up on my Portuguese. I used it for a little while and I stopped, but what I would do is I would watch videos probably in Portuguese and do a few things to try to help me with the language. And while I was there, there are some words that I picked up on, some expressions. So yeah, they always say that being in the country that you want to learn the language for always helps. What's the name of the show? Lol. I get lazy in Mexico and use the Google app. Well, yeah, I mean, we're in an advanced age now where you can just type whatever you want to say, the Google Translate, and they'll just tell you, and you can even just press play and they say it for you. So yeah, that's always good. That's an option. Um, I didn't have that option when I was here, or I don't remember having that option. So yeah, I had to do it the hard way. The show that I watched when I just came was Marido en Alquiler. That's a show that my friend recommended to me, but you can watch anyone that's in Spanish. I think that's it's based in Venezuela. I'm not sure. Any other questions or recommendations? Is it on YouTube? I think so. I think I watched it on YouTube. Yeah, because yeah, it was YouTube that I watched it on. So you can check it on YouTube. Or probably you can type in Google popular Spanish series or movies, whatever it is that you prefer. Miss Me, how's the weather in Buenos Aires? How cold it does it get there typically? All right. So one important fact is that in Buenos Aires, well, in Argentina in general, the the climate is at the opposite of the states. So right now we are in spring, headed into summer. Today was absolutely hot, so hot. I didn't check the temperature though, so I'm still getting used to checking it. But it can get as cold. I think it's similar to Rosario where I live. So I think it can get as cold as about a few degrees below zero, which is not common. The most common one would probably be 5, 6 degrees when it's winter. And it will probably go up to 30, 31, 32 thereabout is at the average, but sometimes it'll probably go higher to 37, 38 in summer. Sometimes in spring too, because the other day it was like 31, but it was super hot. And it's spring now. So that's like the lowest would probably be the average low would probably be 5 or 6, and the average high would probably be about 31, 32. Oh, thanks, Thomas. You're living in Buenos Aires. Awesome. So you're helping out. So yesterday was 35. Yeah, yesterday was hot too. And today, yeah, I didn't really go outside yesterday. And today's 32 degrees. Yeah, it's pretty hot now. And we are in it's Celsius, Trishana. And we're in spring now. So I don't know. I'm not looking forward to this summer at all. Right. So Miss Meek, sorry. So just know that when it's whatever the season is in the United States, just know that it's the opposite here in Argentina. And always walk with something. For example, if you're coming in spring, you can bring a light jacket too, because sometimes you have a few days will probably be pretty cold. Like last week, Saturday, it was pretty chilly, it was cold, and this week it's burning up. So it also fluctuates. So, for example, you're coming in winter, probably bring us a suit or two for spring, because some days will be really cool. I mean, really nice that you're wondering, are we in winter? And it's all sorry, and it also depends on the year, because some years the winters are worse than other times. So, Shoshana, how much does it cost to live monthly? That question is one that is so hard to answer, because it depends on many factors, depends on the things that you would like to do, depends on the city that you're living in, and it's also it varies from month to month, because as you probably will know that inflation in Argentina is very high, so prices are always going up for food, transportation, everything else. Rent is a bit more fixed. It increases every year. So before, when I just came to Argentina, the rent would increase by 20% every year. Then, when in like about 2 or 3 years ago, they changed it and they say that the rent will increase based on they say the cotización del banco. So it was based on what the bank sets it at, because that's also regulated by the government or by the bank or nationally. So last time my rent increased by 50%. Because inflation is really a thing in the country right now. So monthly, for you to live normal life here in Rosario, you probably need 400 US dollars, and that would be for your rent, your expenses, your bills, food, and putting it at the blue rate, because there's another thing, they have two different rates in here in Argentina. So putting at the blue rate, you that would probably be 120,000 pesos. That's probably a lot, probably a little bit more, probably 300. But Buenos Aires is a lot more expensive. So renting Buenos Aires is about three times the amount in Rosario, but it also depends, because if you live in the center of Buenos Aires, it's a lot more expensive than if you live on the outskirts of the city. On the outskirts of the city, it's a bit more accessible. As it relates to food and transportation, food I think in Buenos Aires is probably similar to Rosario. As it relates to transportation in Buenos Aires, you have a lot more options and it's a lot cheaper than in Rosario. For example, the bus fare in Rosario is like 85 pesos right now. In Buenos Aires, I think it will probably be 20 something pesos. But it also depends on the distance. In Rosario, they charge you one set fee. In Buenos Aires, they charge you based on the distance. So rent in Rosario, well, when I rented, it was a different price, but now to rent an apartment in Rosario is like pretty expensive. I think it went up to probably about 47,000 pesos, which would be 150 US dollars. Not a lot if you look at it that way, but if you're earning in Argentine pesos, it's a lot of money. Probably in Buenos Aires, it would be 60 to 80,000 average. In Rosario, probably 40 to 60. I think, because I don't know the current prices right now, because I've been in this apartment for almost 2 years. Food. The price of food is always going up. I remember when I just came to when I just came to Rosario, would spend like 300 pesos, and I would buy food for the month. Now, if I go to supermarket to buy food for the month, I would spend like 10 to 12,000 pesos. And you have this thing in Rosario, or this culture of Argentina, like you go to the supermarket, your monthly food would be you go to the supermarket, you go to the verduleria, and you go to the dietetica. So I would spend like 10,000 pesos in the supermarket, and then the verduleria, probably like 3,000 pesos. If you go twice per month, that would probably equal to 6,000 pesos or more. And dietetica, you probably spend about 2,000 pesos for the month. But if you want nuts, grains, healthy stuff. Okay, I have another good question that I'm trying to get an understanding of. Trying to understand how to count the pesos, oh, how to convert the Argentine pesos to USD in particular. All right, so I think Thomas answered. He said there's two rates of dollars: the official and the blue or black market. It's the double. Go to the street, Florida street, and change your money there. Thomas, it's not legal. It's not illegal. Sorry for English. Haha. That's it. Thank you, Thomas, for helping out. You're helping me out with things that I can't necessarily answer, especially for Buenos Aires. So yeah, he's right. You have two rates: the official rate and the dollar blue rate. The dollar blue rate is twice the official rate. Thomas, you probably need to explain to me where those two rates come from, because I don't really know like why they have two rates. I don't think any other country has that. And people have been asking me, and I need to explain it on my channel, but I don't understand it myself to explain it. So maybe you could help me out. But yeah, and Miss Me, what you could do also, if you have someone in the States, to be able to send money to you through Western Union, they also give a very good rate at Western Union. Um, but never really use your card for anything in the country, because I think they would or withdraw from the country, because they'll give you like the official rate, which is like half of the amount of money. And yet you do have people on the street, they'll say cambio, cambio, cambio. Those are the persons who actually change the money for you. Oh, they actually have two rates generally? I didn't know that, Shoshana. Well, maybe for countries that deal with certain currencies, but I don't think you have that in Jamaica. I don't think we have that in Jamaica. Well, I never heard of it. Maybe it exists, but I didn't know about it. Oh, you're talking about a practical way of changing money, Miss Moon. All right. For so I just say one. If you're gonna talk about, it depends. If you're gonna say the dollar blue, you're just gonna say, okay, if I have $1, that's 300 pesos for the blue rate. And if it's the official rate, I'll probably say, okay, it's 150. Just that's it. So if I have $5, it would be 5 times 300, which would be 1,500. So just know that the pesos is always going to be needs to be greater than the US dollars, right? So if you're gonna transfer, if you're gonna convert from pesos to, so you have 5,000 pesos, you want to know how many US dollars. You're not gonna multiply because it would mean that you have more US dollars. You're gonna divide because the US dollar always needs to be less. That's how I do it. Right. The government puts restrictions because of inflation. They don't have the US dollars, so they restrict you. So people do they actually have their own little thing that they do um to get money flowing, to get the US dollars flowing. So how much is one USD to Argentine pesos? So what we're trying to say, Trishan, is that they have two rates. So the official one is going to be about 150, and the unofficial one would be about 300 pesos. Restriction, yeah, restriction is good. It's okay. We understand. So Thomas, tell us a bit about Buenos Aires. What's happening in Buenos Aires now? What's new? What's your interaction like with foreigners? Um, do you think that if someone visits Buenos Aires, if they'll be able to um, get around without speaking much Spanish? Oh, so it's $1 also 20 pesos. So Shoshana, tell us a bit about Mexico. Um, how much, how many US dollar, how much US dollars would you need per month to actually live, to pay rent, buy food, and tell us, yeah, that's pretty much it. What I wanted to know. How many US dollars would you need per month to survive? To see how much it compares to Argentina. Yeah, when I just came to Argentina, it was $1 to, I think, 4 or 5 pesos or 9 pesos, and then the official one, and then the dollar one would be 12. But yeah, it really just took off in 9 years. Imagine when I came, it was one to what, 5 or 6 or something like that, or nine, and now it's 1 to 150. Talking about the official rate. Hello, is it the one there? I'm not seeing any messages. Let me see. Oh, So Shoshana is saying inflation is high. I live in Mexico City, so I spend at least 1,500 US inclusive of everything. I live in a tourist area. I believe if you live outside of the tourist areas, it would be lower. But still, 1,500 is a whole lot. If you 1,500 US dollars in pesos, you would be living right next to the president in Argentina times 300. Yeah, 450,000 Argentine pesos. That's almost half a million um Argentine pesos. I do well with that. Miss Me says I had a coworker who lived in Argentina about 6 years ago, and he was living there for only 6 months, and they were pushing him to pay his rent in USD. Is that illegal? Okay, right. So yeah, so foreigners who come to Buenos Aires or who go to Buenos Aires to live, they normally charge them a lot. I think like 600 or I think 800, 600 to probably 1,200 US dollars. They charge them that amount per month because it's temporary and also because it comes with the muebles. What's muebles? Furniture. But they do take advantage of it. I don't think they need to charge that much, but they do take advantage of the situation because, of course, you're coming with US dollars, you're coming from the United States, you have money, so they take advantage of that. But obviously, it will be more expensive than for the common person because I'm living here, so I have all my furniture. So obviously, they'll be charging me less. But if a person is providing all the furniture for you and paying all the other extra bills, they're going to charge you more. But I think they do take advantage and charge a lot more. Oh, that's basic, Shoshana. That's crazy, girl. Thomas says if you go to Palermo, the young people I think speak more English because it's the rich part. Right. Palermo, Recoleta, you know, those uptown communities. Yeah, because you have English schools in Argentina, so they teach both Spanish and English. So you have Argentines, wealthier Argentines normally know a lot more English because they probably learned it in school. So yeah, if you hang around, if you're lucky enough to meet up with one of those persons who studied in one of those English schools, they'll know English very well. Oh, the prices in Mexico are like the US. And you like eating out, Shoshana. You should go to Buenos Aires if you like to eat out with 1,500 US dollars per month. Trust me, girl, you'll be living the life. You'll be able to eat out morning, evening, afternoon while you're sleeping. Thomas says you need a few of words of Spanish. I think you don't speak perfect Spanish. Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, you need to know just a few words, even if you don't speak perfect Spanish, right? But the more Spanish you know, the better. So, Miss Me, what made you want to visit Argentina? What got you interested in Argentina? Yeah, you can try to negotiate, but I know someone who wanted to come here and he was really trying to find a way around it, but he ended up paying a lot of money because it's just it. Unless someone in the future decides that they're gonna really create maybe some American decides that he's gonna invest in some apartments and actually charge more reasonable fees, then until then I guess you just have to just work with it. So that was you're asking me how I learned Spanish. Um, I studied Spanish in high school in Jamaica for 5 years, but obviously, it's just like the basics. Then when I came here, I had to. I asked, what should I say? I learned most of the things that I know here. I by interacting with the locals. By when I was, as I was explaining to Miss Me, when I just came, I used Duolingo. I watched a Spanish series that really helped me. I was mostly around Argentines, so that really helped me to speak the language. I was forced to speak it. Yeah, so just that. And then eventually, going to different places, different organizations that allow you to, like, for example, church, school, those places really made me improve my Spanish. What are you struggling with, Shoshana? Negotiating? Yeah, it's good to know a local. Yeah, when you know someone, where you're going always helps because those persons, they know the things that are, they know the way around the things, and they will help you to avoid scams as well, and also just to help you feel settled in the country. Hola, Platano. I don't know how to pronounce that. All right, Miss Me says, wanted to live outside the US for a few years and I wanted to go somewhere that was safe, nice, and affordable. I then remembered a former coworker talk about Argentina. Yeah, a lot of Americans visit Buenos Aires. So yeah, it's popular among the Americans. And I guess probably it's getting popular among the Europeans now. I'm not sure, but yeah. But I like that. I think that Americans do that a lot, and I like that. Like they just spend some time just living outside of their country to get the experience. That's beautiful. That's actually making you. It changes your perspective when you live outside of your country for a while. So, and I think Buenos Aires is a good place for you to do so because Buenos Aires is pretty safe, very beautiful, relaxed place. It gives you everything or almost everything of a big city, but it also gives you almost everything of a small town vibe. So if you like that mixture, Buenos Aires is good. And Argentina is, on a whole, is like a very beautiful place too. If you're looking for something even more relaxing, you can go to the south. Absolutely beautiful. If you like to go on adventures, if you like to go hiking, if you like want to experience salt flats or salt lakes, if you want to go to experience Iguazu Cataratas falls, if you like that dry kind of historic kind of a vibe, you can go to the north, Tucumán, Salta, Jujuy, La Rioja. Argentina has it all. So anything you want to experience, you can experience here. Um, Shoshana, what caused you to move to Argentina, Bella? So I came to Argentina because I came here to study initially, offered a good opportunity, and I just see my friend who took me to Argentina, who brought me to Argentina, just come on, Shazi, hi. So she was the one who helped me out to come to Argentina. And as you know, you were saying before, it's good to know a local. That really helped because, because she was here, she really helped me to get settled in, and her friend as well that was here helped me to get settled in. So I came here for academic purposes and I'm still, working around that. But in the meantime, I fell in love with the country and that's why I'm still here. Thomas says, I want to go to US or one English speaking country to practice. Yes, Thomas. And I see you're already doing well. Keep up the good work. And I really do hope that one day soon you'll be able to go to the US or another English speaking country. Sorry. Hello, Sante. How are you doing, Miss Gordon? All right. Platono says, Te amo, negrita hermosa. I would like to know people from you are from where I'm from. Um, there are not so much Jamaicans here, but there are a few of us here, and I think the best way to get to know Jamaicans is to go to Jamaica. So start looking on your plane ticket to visit Jamaica. I'm sure you will love it. Hey Shazi, thank you for coming. All right, Trishana says, "Yeah, I went to the market I paid double for some fruits because I didn't know Spanish well to negotiate. Yeah, and it's not so much of not being able to negotiate, but I think that once people realize that you don't know the language, they just take advantage of you and they're like, okay, you're a tourist. I'm going to charge you extra. So it's always good to be able to also have an idea of the costs of things where you're going so that people don't necessarily overcharge you. The thing with Argentina is that the prices are normally on the things. So if you don't know Spanish, if you don't know Spanish, then they can't really overcharge you because the prices are there. Or what you could do, you could go to probably a supermarket where things are more regulated, so it's not possible for them to cheat you. But then in the supermarket, you may pay more. So it's like, as we say in Jamaica, six is one, half dozen is the other. It's the same thing. Dale Rojo, Western Union is a good place to change money. It has the street rate, blue rate, or better. Yeah, I think they have a slightly better rate than the rate that they give on the street. Thank you for that info. Miss Me, yes, you are doing well, Thomas. Yes, he is. Um, Thank you, Bella. Best wishes for you too. Thank you. So Miss Me says, so I have locks. Is there a place in Buenos Aires where I can get my dreads retwisted? Um, Thomas, can you help out? Because the thing is, like, most of the questions are about Buenos Aires, but the specific details I don't really know because I don't live there. But I'm sure that if you look very well enough, you'll probably find a place, but I'm not sure. It's not something that you'll probably be able to look up on the internet and find, or you will just see places there advertising, oh, we do locks here. I know that a lot of Argentines, they're into the Rastafarian culture, and some of them do have locks, but I don't know where they get them done. And if it's like what do they call them, fashion twists, then that makes it a little bit more complicated too, because I think the ones that they do here are more about the culture than it is like for fashion. So I'm not sure how neatly they will be able to do it and stuff like that, because the ones that I see here are just the ones that they just do them and just leave them, that's it. So I'm not sure about that one. Hopefully you can probably find something online. Well, hopefully, as more people come to Argentina and visit, that they'll start opening up businesses to facilitate like the Black culture. Because for right now, it's not so easy. Now we're able to find extensions to purchase, but other things that for Black hair care, they're not so common. Now you can find people to do braids because I found someone to do this, is a Brazilian, but other things are still lacking, so hopefully it will be possible in the future. Yeah, give and take, Shoshana. That's another way of saying it. I'm not a Rastafari, but I like reggae and Bob Marley. Yeah, I know you probably are not, but maybe you will be able to assist. Your hair is well done. I find it difficult to locate black hair salons in Mexico City. That's strange. I thought Mexico would be more open. Oh, and thank you for the compliment. You can check out Preta Rosario Braids. That's what it's called. Or Preta Rosa Braids on Instagram. She was the one who did my hair. She's a Brazilian. But you also have another one that's called La Serena Trenzas, or La Serena Trenzas Africanas, also in Argentina. But as it relates to Buenos Aires, I don't have a lot of information, but I'm sure there are persons there that do braids. And maybe Miss Meek, you could probably find one of those persons that do this. They could probably learn, or maybe they know how to retwist your lock. Um, yeah, as it relates to Shoshana and not finding black hair salons in Mexico City, I thought that you would find more because I thought that would be more open, more used to diversity there. Am I still in Brazil? No, I'm not in Brazil anymore. I'm now in Argentina. I got back about a week ago, so I'm now in Argentina. But the Brazilian experience was absolutely beautiful. I loved it in Brazil. Hope to visit again soon. But another part, so that I can get to know more than just Florianopolis. So if I order something from Amazon while in Argentina, will that have to go through customs? Yeah, yeah. As it relates to things coming into the country, things do come in and you can bring them in, but it's just a risky thing. Sometimes, you know, you probably get them with no hassle. Other times you probably have to pay a lot more. But I do think that I've never ordered anything in from Argentina, but I know people who have done it. But what most people do is like they order the stuff, send them to a relative, and allow the relative to like put together a package, put them in a box and send them to the post office. If you do that, you will have less hassle than if you just order it directly from Amazon. Um, Dale Rojo, Buenos Aires, it's pretty cosmopolitan. For sure, there are places for get your dreadlocks retwisted, but maybe you have to search on the internet. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That Buenos Aires, I think it has a little bit of everything, but yeah, you have to search. Hopefully, you find something. Probably try TikTok too, because these days people are putting things all over. So just try different places. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Platano, Platano, Mercado Libre. It's like the Amazon of Argentina, so you can find a lot of things on it. They may probably be a little bit more expensive, but yeah, you can definitely try Mercado Libre. Today, for example, there are some Black Dominican, Haitian, Colombian haircutters. Yeah, yeah, I know that you have some Haitians too that do extensions. You have Brazilians too that are now doing extensions, doing braids. So yeah, I think there are a lot of diversity. There's a lot of diversity. Um, Maybe you can go to a barber of people from the Dominican Republic or something like that. But there is one on Constitution, and it's not the most safest neighborhood, right? Yeah, that's the thing too. But I'm sure, I think Ace Live, Miss Meeks, you already know him. He went to a barbershop but I mean, you don't want a barbershop, you want a hairdresser. The barbershops are probably more common than the hairdressers. I'm gonna check and see because I think they should have, but it's just to find them. Well, I'm new to Mexico City, been here for 2 weeks. I was in Playa del Carmen, and nope, there was none. That's interesting. I think more and more we're seeing that there is a need for places, more diversity as it relates to, the beauty industry in certain countries. Because too, when I just came here, it was to get your hair done was a hassle. No one was there to do it. You couldn't find the braids to do it, the extensions to do it. But with time, as more Black persons come, you have people who started to, realize that there's a need, and they put a business, and now they're doing well. Even Argentines are starting to do braids now, and they're falling in love. So I really love that. Ace went to Black Colombian hairdresser in Buenos Aires city center. Mm. And Spanglish because I don't remember how to say suerte in English. Look, suerte is like good luck in English, Thomas. Thomas. All right. Are there any questions? Yes, Ace was here. He is a YouTuber. Yeah. Ace is probably one of the most famous Black YouTubers that came to Argentina, and he really showed the Argentine culture, went to all the different places, he interacted with the locals, and I think people really like that, when you're not just doing your thing and just showing, but you also interact with the locals. That makes your content richer. Something that I probably should do more of. But the thing is, for me, when I go somewhere, I'm talking to people, like, I don't want to just put the camera in their face. Oh, I'm in a YouTube channel. Talk, say something, do something. No. Check your Facebook groups also. Yeah. That's also an option. Check. I think people who do here they not tend to say trenzas africanas because I think that's what they're known as. So I'll just type trenzas. That's what they call them here. So you could probably look that up, Miss Me. All right, so is that question for me if I have trouble understanding other native Spanish speakers? Funny question. So I find that when other persons speak from different countries, some things I don't understand. Some of them I've gotten used to understanding. For example, I have a few Colombian friends, so I've gotten used to hearing them. But they use things like chévere and or que chévere or something like that, as they call it. Venezuelans, I understand them. I guess because I interact with them on a daily basis. But I know a Chilean that can't understand what he's saying because he's speaking so quickly. And um, there was this other guy too. I can't remember where he was. It depends on the person because even if the persons are from a particular country, if they're from different regions, it's that they speak differently. So if they speak very quickly and they use just the terms that they use in their country, then I don't really understand them. But I can generally understand them, but some things I can't. I remember when I went to Chile and I was talking to them in Spanish, and someone said to me, "Why do you speak like the Argentines?" I'm like, wow, how do you know that I speak like Argentines? And I remember it's because I was saying shh, I was saying posho, cache, chave. So that too is another thing that you have to get used to, not hearing sh and hear people say pollo, or some of them say pollo. um, he wanted to get Antarctica from Argentina. I don't know if he did it. I'm not sure what's Antarctica or Antarctica. Yes, obviously because the Spanish is very rich and diverse. Que chévere. But I think the word it's used only in Colombia. I think the Venezuelans also use it too. I think I've heard Venezuelans use it. Argentina has like several eight different accents. Oh yeah, I know people in the north speak differently. They speak more like other Spanish speakers. Um, they say that the Cordobeses they speak differently from the Porteños, which are people from Buenos Aires. But to me, they all sound the same. Miss Meek, okay, so I'm from the south in America. So life is laid back and people have that southern accent, but I cannot understand people from like London because of how fast they speak in English plus accent. Yeah. And I must say I love the British accent. It's my favorite. Like I love it. I don't think I generally have a problem understanding them, but I can understand why people wouldn't understand them. I guess because I love it so much, I put extra effort to understand them. But I do understand why some persons wouldn't necessarily understand them because it can be a lot. It can be very strong, hard to understand. And have a cup of tea. All right, so I'm just about wrapping it up now. Just 5 more minutes. If anyone has any questions, any last questions, any last comments, what would you like to see more of on the channel? Um, any suggestions of videos from Argentines as well as people visiting from other countries. What time is it there now? No, it's almost 9 o'clock. If it's not already 9 o'clock, yeah, it's 9:05. The most extended accent is Rio Platense, spoken in the center east, where Buenos Aires, Rosario, Santa Fe, Mar del Plata, and the whole Argentine Patagonia. Oh, oh yeah. But in the north, people speak similar to, they say like yo, Joe, Zeka Joe. My grandmother is from Santiago del Estero and speak different to Porteño. She say pecho and no pero with a strong R like Porteños. The thing is, for me, having an English speaking accent, it's so hard for me to pronounce the R in Spanish. Like it sounds like an L, like when I say pero. It sounds weird. And I've been trying with it for so long, but it's difficult. I probably should do some classes to help me to pronounce the R because I would really like to speak, exactly like sound like the Argentines when I'm speaking. Yeah, Santiago del Estero is to the north, one of those cities or states or provinces where people don't speak like the typical or the Argentines down to the south. Oh, they speak like in Uruguay. Yeah, apparently I heard that Uruguay is like a broken off state of Argentina, province of Argentina. So the culture is pretty similar. I think they also drink mate. In the northeast, there are two more accents. In the northwest, another two or three. In Mendoza and San Juan is similar to Chilean. Yeah, because they're close there. And Cordoba and San Luis have another. Hmm, I didn't know that. To me, as I said before, to me, all of them sound the same. Well, probably Mendoza. I know this girl from Mendoza. She speaks it a little bit different, but not anything like really significant. Thank you so much for your information, Bella. I really appreciate it. I would like to see more how the different districts are in Buenos Aires and other places outside of the capital. Right. So yeah, I do plan to visit more of Argentina because Argentina is so rich, has so many things to see. So I do plan to visit more to show. I want to visit every province and to see as much as I can in every province. So far, I've been to Tucumán, Cordoba, Entre Rios, Buenos Aires, and I live in Rosario, Santa Fe. So I've been to five. I think there are 23. So I have no, 18 more to visit. It's a lot. I need to visit them all. So I will definitely try to do that, Miss Meat, but I need the help of you guys to help me to grow this channel so that, YouTube can start paying me. And when they pay me, I'll have money to travel. And also, as it relates to Buenos Aires, I do plan to spend a lot more time in Buenos Aires in the future. So I'll definitely be sharing more about Buenos Aires because I realize that people want to know about Buenos Aires because that's where people go. But I want to encourage you to show more. I mean, to show more, to visit more, visit other parts of Argentina because obviously people go to where the places that are familiar, but Argentina has a lot more to share, to offer. And I think if people knew that, they would go to the other parts. And I hope to be the one to show that to you all. Yes, it's difficult. Perro, it's but perro, it's dog. Yeah, I know it's perro and perro. I can't roll my R. I'm sorry. If you want to say perro, you need to put your tongue in the up and down paladar. Yeah, they tell me that all the time when I try to practice, but perro still comes out. My it's like all the elements of my mouth have been accustomed to using to a particular way. So right now it's like it's hard to retrain it. But hopefully one day I'll get it. All right, so I'm just about wrapping up. It's the typical Argentina that you see in TV is Buenos Aires, and the center is the Patagonia have snow, mountains, and forests, but the culture and accent is similar to Buenos Aires. Right, right. People. And I think in one of my videos, I did a video and I talked about the differences between Jamaica and Argentina. And a lot of persons were like, that's not how it is where I live. Argentina is not Buenos Aires alone. And that's true, but I was just talking about my experience. I should have clarified that, but yeah, people just see Argentina and just associate Argentina with Buenos Aires, and that's not the case. There's a lot more diversity and a lot more to see, and that's what I really want to do. I just want to travel the country and just show every single aspect of the country because it's rich, it's beautiful, and I love it. All right, so the food here, interesting. When I just came, it was hard for me to adjust to the food here because I was coming from Jamaica. You know, my taste buds were all about the seasonings, the peppers, and everything. And when I came here, I realized that, they were not so fussy about seasoning their meat. So, or putting a lot of seasoning in their food. So it's hard for me to get used to it. But eventually, I started to get accustomed to it. And I actually like the food now. So the main things, I actually did a video, Miss Meek. I did a video talking about everything good thing about what Argentines eat. You can watch that video. Or you could, I did two. One about the salty things that they eat, and one about the savory things that they eat, and one about the sweet things that they eat. So Argentines eat a lot of sweet stuff. They eat a lot of biscuits and all of that. But as it relates to food, asado. Beef in Argentina is one of the best. I think if you have Argentine beef, you don't want beef from anywhere else. It's just different. And all they use to flavor it is a little bit of salt and they put it on the grill. Muy rico. They also eat empanadas, which is like a small patty, and you can put whatever it is that you want to put inside. And they have different types. They have empanadas salteñas, which is from a part of Argentina. It's called salta. They do it a different way. They put um, olives inside and raisins. They also eat milanesa, which is like breaded meat. They sometimes they use beef, sometimes they use chicken or probably another type of meat, and they just put it in the breadcrumbs and they fry it. That's really good too. Another thing that they generally eat a lot of is they eat a lot of pizza too, pasta, raviolis, Italian kind of food. Um, Yeah, those are the main things. You'll probably find some other things there, but those are the main things that you'll find. There's a lot of if you go to restaurants too, you'll find hamburgers. You find restaurants that sell sushi. Um, yeah, you find probably Chinese food too. You find a little bit of everything. But the typical Argentine food that you find everywhere are those things: pizza, raviolis, pasta, asado, milanesa, empanadas. Yes, I'll keep practicing Thomas, or Thomas. Dale Roja says, going to the north, the culture and people change a bit. It gets more brown and indigenous. Yeah. And their way of life is also different. It's it's more of, how indigenous people probably would tend to live. Obviously you have cities there that are advanced too, but it's more like that. And it's also a rich part of the Argentine culture that a lot of times it gets, hidden or forgotten. Um Thomas says the food is amazing. You need to try asado, but in the house of Argentina, it's better than a restaurant. Yeah, true. Yeah, asado needs to be done at home with Argentines. That's how you get the real experience. The Northeast, it's more alike ethnically and culturally with Paraguay, part of the Northeast. Yeah, I think the North is it's similar to Bolivia and Peru. Yeah, Argentines like sweet food, a lot of sweet things. They like their empanadas dulce, they like their facturas, the whole works. Thank you, Miss Monique. Have a good night too. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Platonuth, as well. Tomas, Dale Rojo, Trishana, Shazi, Sante. Thank you all for coming. And do have a wonderful night. Don't go to the expensive restaurant. For me, it's better than a local. Don't go to the expensive restaurant. For me, it's not better than the local, typically of neighborhood. Right, right. So get an asada done at some friend's apartment. I'm not sure you're gonna have to make some friends, Argentine friends, and have them invite you over to an asado. Good night. Bye bye. Thank you so much for coming. And see you when I get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to do another live when I get to 1,000. Right now, I'm at 895 if no one has unsubscribed. And as soon as I get to 1,000, I'm going to do another live to celebrate. So thank you guys so much for coming. Hopefully, next time more persons will come on. But it was really engaging and great to have you guys to chat. It was, one on one, personal. Bye.